of semi-finals and being easily one of the best teams in the lobby, but it just shows how great Cammy, Seti, and Teak are. I can't even, you know, sort of quantify how it's calm.
I'll catch you, because you know what's funny? I was thinking the exact same thing, right? I was thinking, like, you are in the moment, you're Aqua, you're Seer, you're Frostroki, you're clutching up the solo 1v1 to finish off, and you know you're about to hit that shot, you hit it, you see the victory rabbit come up and you go, yeah, and then you wait and you pause and you see, wait a second, you just see it's like you eliminated Cammy and you're like, come on, please, bro.
Just go down early once or something. Give me a chance to actually catch up. Like, it's so mad how good these guys really are. Look, you got to commend them for, you know, putting on their best, like, attempt. But at this stage, we're getting closer and closer to the inevitable. It just, at this point, you've got to question what can stop these guys from winning FNCS now.
Well, they're still holding their 70-point lead, so I don't have an answer for you, Levin. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take the spotlight off of Steady Cammy Team for just a moment? Let's talk about someone else in this lobby that we think is performing well. Floki, Clement, Distiptos, a trio that we think could very easily make it up into that top 10 spot. What's going on here?
I want to show you something, right? Because this is a team that should be contending against Cammy, Seti, Teak in the end game for that low ground positioning, but I'm showing you what's going to happen here, right? Floki goes down. I want to know something here, right? Floki, Clement, and Disiptos, if you didn't get that, was the team we're talking about. They're being contested by 4ZR, Endless, X-Weez. Notice this, right? Look in the speed. Usually, if you're not familiar with replay mode, there'd be a little exclamation mark to show exactly what there's a knock there, right? Now, Andlex, exactly the same thing. X-Weez, the same thing, too. So you think, where's this elimination coming from? You see there's no other players around, but if we scroll over, hold on, who's that? Who's this down here? We've got Kraid's team, who ends up just being the full third party for this. And look, one single shot will pick up that knock at the start, right? So it's like, despite the fact that here you have a ton of easiest, right? This should be a relatively simple 3v3 fight off spawn. It's not, because you have guys like Kraid's team who are third partying in from the distance. And like, this is why they were in fourth coming into this. They are still fourth now because they managed to make it to first moving. But look, they could have absolutely flown up the leaderboards.
Yeah, take a look at that leaderboard as well. 347 points, first place. I've never seen anything like this, man. The stroke ECR got in second, trying their hardest, a valiant effort at that. Flois, Hellfire, and Scrammer, who were at one point in the picture, they had a really sort of disappointing game. They went down relatively early to the Deals trio, and so once again, almost losing a foot in this race. But look, it's a two-horse race, but at the same time, it's not a two-horse race because you just sort of have like, you know, an absolute stallion just being, you know, trailed by donkeys. Not in a bad way or anything, but yeah, I mean, like you got just a monstrous trio in first place that really can't be, you know, tested right now.
You know, I was sitting there and I was like, I'm sure I can do the maths here. Is that a 70-point gap? And there's some big numbers, so I mean, I had to double question myself and use the calculator on my computer, and I'm like, yeah, it's a 70-point swing between first X with 3 points left. And basically, like, now, I think if we see Cammy, Seti, Teak staying in this and doing well into the end game for one more game, like, I think it's almost mathematically not going to be possible unless there's two victory royales or two top teams, depending on, of course, from like how Aqua's team ends up doing in both of those games. So it's like this next game and then the one after that will absolutely be the defining ones for who's going to be crowned the champions.
And this is all off of what Levin actually talked about yesterday, that this trio is completely uncontested. No one is getting in their way at all. They're just letting them roam around, claim whatever spot on the map they want, set up in zone. Like, no one's doing anything to stop them. But if anyone can, I guess it might be Aqua and company. But for now, you heard the Battle Bus Fiends are going back in the game. 3 more, and then we crown champions. But we already might know who they are. Sundown, back over to you, friends.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. In 3 games left, we've set the stage. We've made the analogy to an epic high fantasy novel a number of times. And right now, Shio, where we're at is the dragon has just breathed fire on everybody, and the rest of the lobby was burnt to a crisp. Except Aqua, Ciara, and Frostroki raised their shields, covered themselves just enough, and they said, once more, and if they can hit those 3 shots, if they can win these 3 games and put up numbers, there is the smallest of chances they can slay the dragon and free EU from what has been an absurd run from Steady, Cammy, and T. but that's it. There's one other horse in this race. There is one other competitor standing who could potentially unthrone it. They passed the Chapter 2 Season 7 victors point total last match before they were even to get that top 2. As we hop on board another fight over here in Steamy, and Doretta gets to trade out onto Malabuka, but at the cost of his own presence in the match. Mustache gonna be able to pick it up, and we'll have a 2v2.